This is The Wealth Puzzle with Michael Mansfield from the Lynn Group. When a part of your financial strategy is out of tune, your long-term goals, your retirement savings, and your legacy can all suffer. With many years of experience in the financial industry, Michael provides his clients and prospects with the information they need regarding Social Security, retirement income planning, wealth management, and much more. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is The Wealth Puzzle with Michael Mansfield.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is Mike Mansfield and Tana Pennington, and this is The Wealth Puzzle. How exciting.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I know we got people that listen to this on the podcast. We got people that view it on YouTube and on Rumble. So you get both sides of it. I have to admit, though, I was just watching the intro video that we play, and I look a little jollier back then when those pictures were taken. And to admit, I kind of...
That happens to all of us.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It was fluffy.
Well,
Anyways,
it's temporary.
Maybe it's time.
We go through cycles, you know?
Is that what it is?
At least I do.
I've been working out hard lately.
You look great.
I hit 40 and you know, just...
Well, those were taken a while back, so you're doing great.
Had to refocus. And then I felt bad. So my kids were watching this movie over the weekend that had The Rock in it, but it was like the old Rock where he still had like a little hair.
Yeah.
It was like he had like some little girl. I don't know. He's a football player.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my wife comes upstairs and she's like, Reese, who's my 9-year-old. I guess The Rock was working out without a shirt on, and Reese said, I wish Dad looked like that. and then my oldest kid, I guess, followed up with it. Yeah, me too. I thought, God damn it.
That's not an ideal. I'm sorry.
So I've started steroids, everybody.
No, not a good idea.
It was kind of
that is funny.
Good. So then I got sad. So I looked him up. Any guesses how old The Rock is, Tana? Guess
I would say probably 48, 49.
See, then the Wii Fit age, you know, he'd be like a 16-year-old if like you test your Wii Fit age. He's 49 years old.
Oh,
like, talk about a punch in the
good guess.
The tummy here, soft tummy.
Yeah, he does look great, but he probably spends a lot of time working on his greatness.
So what you're saying is I should work out more and work less. That's all I heard.
Well, no.
No. Anyways. All right. Well, I give up on that. So, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. You know, here at the Wealth Puzzle, we talk current events. We talk a little bit of politics. You know, not everyone likes that, but we talk about things that we think affect you, affect your money, affect your situation. And it's interesting. I mean, today I was looking at the lineup. Tana always sends me articles. So we're going to be talking about healthcare costs and retirement. We're going to be talking about unemployment benefits changing. We're going to talk, if we got time, about the Social Security Trust Fund going bust. But first, let's talk about Newsom. Tana moved out of the state of California because she hated the governor, which I found highly offensive because he is a good-looking specimen. So he's got that going. You know, it's funny. The reason I even bring this up is twofold. One, current event, but two is we've actually had a boatload of clients leave in the last couple of years of going to Arizona and going to Washington and everywhere else out of here. And it's tough because a lot of people talk politics. A lot of people talk cost of living. They talk real estate value, things like that. And it's just so funny how much is going on. What a polarized society we live in. The COVID mess, all of this stuff, to see different experiences that people are having. In fact, that's actually why I like talking to you, Tana, because you're in Texas, I'm in California, and you know, we have kids. My kids are disappointed in me because I don't look like The Rock, whereas you're married to a guy who's 8 feet tall. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe your kids are prouder of their father.
They do love him and look up to him, but we're not supposed to compare each other.
And it looks like a Barbie car.
It's true.
Yeah, he took the roof off so he could fit in it.
No.
But it is really interesting to look at those different experiences. I mean, so we're dealing with this recall thing right now, and you know what's funny is that a lot of clients, obviously most of our clients are over the age of 60, so I get a lot of different opinions on this. And what I'm coming to realize is a lot of people that didn't have children or don't have children are more for keeping Newsom than the ones that have children. And so it's funny because it's kind of a disconnect, right? A lot of it for people is getting into COVID policy. It's getting into really school policy and what's happened over the last couple of years in the education system here. Tana's kids were in school last year. My kids were not. My kids eat rocks because they didn't learn anything and they don't know that rocks are bad for you. Tana's kids eat apples. But it's amazing how I think that's such a big part of it for a lot of people is looking at that educational experience. So it was hilarious. I like all the political commercials because I find them all ridiculous on both sides because they're these extreme, if you're against Newsom, then you're they have it all listed out. It's so hilarious in the commercial. The anti-vaxxer Trump Capitol rioters are trying to get rid of Newsom. Whereas, the other side is the non-terrible human beings are for Newsom. And it's just kind of entertaining. I'm doing this weird, I keep adjusting the mic. It's I gotta find the perfect place for it. But it was hilarious because the other day they had this commercial. And, honestly, I thought it was pretty damn true. And that's the frustrating part of this stuff. But the commercial was Newsom's scorecard or his report card or something like that. And they're all education, California, 41st in the nation. Gas, highest in the nation. Real estate, highest in the nation. Taxes, highest in the nation. Homeless, highest in the nation. And
that's a good point.
I'm like, man, seems pretty kind of true.
Yeah.
Anyways, so then I was mad yesterday. So yesterday, it was Labor Day. And I want to apologize for all my clients who are listening. I only worked a half a day yesterday.
Only.
So I apologize. Got in here early. Was in here at 5. Worked, half a day. So it was actually only till 9.
Yeah, because you start so early.
But then I went home. And so yesterday afternoon, I installed a camera on the front of my house. My brother gave me this camera. And so I decided to put it in. It was all cool and all exciting. It's all up. I'm checking my phone every 10 minutes to see who's out in my front yard. Get off my lawn, and I'm all excited. And later in the afternoon, I walk out and there's a flyer on my gate.
And you didn't even notice that someone sneaked in?
I could have cried. But anyways, I thought it was funny because I got this Recall Newsom flyer on my gate, and I was reading it, and like I said, it's just kind of funny. I mean, this was put out by Larry Elder, who I guess is the main contender at the moment. But Newsom is responsible for 15,000 businesses and 3.8 million jobs lost. Highest poverty and homeless rates in the U.S. Seems kind of true. The mismanaged our forests, resulting in wildfires. Seems kind of true. Well, let's see here. I'm not going to read the ones that I don't think are true. It's not that they're not true. It's just that it's the propaganda.
Yeah.
Like they said, ignored science. Well, I don't know if that's true. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to believe science. The this one's funny though. Deprived millions of desperate citizens from paychecks from unemployment, many of which went to prisoners and criminals overseas. That's so true. We had so many clients trying to get on unemployment, and for months the system was broken and it was backlogged and they couldn't figure it out. And then you find out there's billions of dollars that went to prison inmates who had signed up for 57 accounts. Whoops. AB5
that is terrible.
Millions of independent contractors. That's actually a funny one too. AB5 is the one where they're saying that, hey, if you're an Uber driver, then you should be an employee and not an independent contractor. Now, this is a weird one for California because everywhere else, pretty much, you're an independent contractor. The way that independent contractor law rules work is it says, if you do your own thing with your own equipment, whenever you want, with no one hassling you, guess what? You're kind of independent. You're doing your own thing. An employee is, you have to show up at this time, you leave at this time, you use this equipment, you do it this way. So it's funny how California decided to go after the Uber drivers, basically, calling them employees. Now, Tana, I'm sure it has nothing to do with trying to derive more payroll taxes, right?
Of course not.
No way.
Well, they did that. They did that to all the servers at the restaurants.
Yeah.
So
Well,
way back. Yeah.
Kind of, because you're told when to show up, and you're
good
using
point.
their
But
apron they gave you, and whatever.
they increased the tax though. So
budget mismanagement, highest taxes, but among the worst infrastructure in schools. So yeah, what does the elder want? Let's see what he has to say. Take care of our vets. I don't know. Okay. I'm a vet. It's funny. I'll tell you everyone a quick being a veteran story with the VA. So you always hear on the news how terrible the VA health system is. So a few years ago, I'm playing racquetball pre-COVID, when you could do such things. And so I'm playing racquetball, and somehow I have the most weirdest hit where somehow I swing and I hit my left elbow. like I'm not even that flexible. I don't know how I did that. I hit my left elbow and I hit it hard with the edge of my racket. And I put a dent. I can feel it right now. Here, anybody looking, here's the dent right here. I can feel a dent in my bone. I totally cracked it, right? This thing, and it hurts, right? So now this is June. I cracked my elbow. I'm like, oh man, this thing hurts. Yikes. It's my elbow. I'm not sure what anyone could do for me anyways. So I called the VA because I'm a veteran. And you have to be a veteran to call the VA, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know that. To see about going into the doctor, to the VA doctor, the clinic. And I'm telling the lady, and I say, hey, I think I broke my elbow. Is that a thing? I don't know. I cracked my bone or something, and it hurts like a doozy. And she's like, oh, cool. We could get you in December. Like this, it's
by then it won't hurt
right now. It's cracked right now. It's June. So there's a mini story. And then she's like, well, if it's that big of a problem, then go to the hospital. I'm like, well, okay. Anyway, so there's a little, example of what the news is always talking about with the VA. It takes you
not very efficient
to deal with a broken bone. That's actually why my arm bends backwards now.
You can do magic tricks.
I know. I'm actually gonna go down to Venice Boardwalk and try to make a few bucks. Hey. All right, what are we? We're 12 minutes in. We have talked about literally nothing.
Nothing. Exactly.
Well, I guess we talked about the recall, which I don't think if I'm a betting man, $6 says he doesn't get recalled, but that's just a bet. Well, bet of the day.
Time will tell.
I'm not going to say what I think. All right, Tana, let's pop up your thing here on your health insurance. Let's get to the depressing stuff.
Oh, good, great.
Depressing. Let me see. I gotta do a share.
Well, hopefully we can turn this into a positive, though.
Yeah. What? Okay. I'm excited to see how you do that.
Positive, because if we just plan ahead, then we'll be prepared.
Whoops. What did I do? Okay.
So it won't be anything scary.
What do we got? How to pay for healthcare costs in retirement. So what is this all about?
Yeah, so this article was very interesting, something that we definitely talk to our clients a lot about. Healthcare is perhaps one of the hardest risks to plan for in retirement because there's such a variable. Yes, there are Medicare costs that are something that you can really nail down and know what your annual costs will be. But then there's plenty of things that Medicare does not cover that you won't know until you have the need for maybe hearing aids or dental implants or
what? What'd you say?
Dental implants.
It was a hearing aid joke. Dude.
See,
dude. You let me down on that.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm focused here, and you're always being silly and goofing off.
All right.
So, yes.
Dental implants is where you were at.
Yes, I was at dental implants. And then also, vision care. Whether, yes, Medicare does cover like cataracts and then eyeglasses or contact lenses if you need them after the surgery. But if you just have elective, a need to, improve your vision, Medicare does not cover any contacts or eyeglasses. So that's going to be, an expense for you. And then, of course, they don't cover like laser eye surgery, which a lot of people like. Because then you don't have to deal with contacts or glasses. And And even long-term care, we've talked a lot about that throughout, this time when we've done these shows. Long-term care is a big expense, and not everybody's willing to think about it or plan ahead for it, because if you're healthy, your mind doesn't really go there. You don't really start planning for the what if, but it's very important too.
So these costs don't include that, right?
No, not at all.
So what do we got here? Fidelity Investments says an average 65-year-old couple would need about $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excluding long-term care to get to retirement.
Exactly.
And the Employee Benefit Research Institute, they did their own math here, and let's see here, 325,000. So they're pretty in line with each other, but
it also depends on where you live. Like you were saying earlier, we've got clients that have moved out of the state, and probably for this reason, because they know that they can, retire in an area where it's cheaper.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that might be what part of this is, right? You do Medicare though. Does Medicare pricing, does it change by zip code?
Yes. So that's a good point. So zip code as well as your age. So premiums do increase for like your Medigap, or your also known as your Medicare supplements. But again, if you go with a Medigap plan, you'll probably pay more per month. But then you won't get those additional bills. You won't have like the copays or the coinsurance for Medicare covered services. Right. Whereas like a Medicare Advantage plan, you may not have an additional premium, or it may be very low per month. But you do a lot of cost sharing. So a fee to go to the doctor, to go to see a specialist. If you stay, in the hospital, you also have a copay. X-rays, things like that will definitely start to add up if you have a health issue.
Yeah. So it's tough. So obviously it's the area you're in maybe even limits the plans that you have also.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right on that too as well.
Yep. I feel like there was a time where everybody here felt like you could get a Medicare Advantage as a PPO plan, and then all of a sudden there was no such thing as that anymore.
Right.
It is in other areas maybe.
Correct. So you might see advertisements come across on, cable TV or the internet, or you might be talking to a friend on the phone, but they live in a different area. We here in Ventura County don't have much Medicare Advantage plans as far as a PPO is concerned. So.
Oh. And it's fascinating because kind of going back to the theme of the cost. I mean, this is tough because a lot of people, unfortunately, in this country have underfunded their retirement plans and their income plans. And to say that, oh my gosh, I need to make sure I got $300,000 in my back pocket to just cover the obvious stuff, the premiums, the out-of-pocket deductibles, the, like you said, hearing aids, things like that. That's a pretty big nut to do it correctly. What's interesting is I see these commercials and I feel like they're scammy, but I don't know. And I imagine if I'm seeing them and thinking that, a lot of the people in the age 65 plus are thinking the same thing. But it's like the other day, there was some kind of hearing aid commercial, and they were, they're playing off it directly and saying, how much do you think they are? And the guy said, I think it's $5,000. And they said, they're free if you're in Medicare and you're a federal employee or something. Yeah. So it sounds like there's all these goofy
like programs out there, like extra assistance. Yeah, I mean,
is that stuff that Medicare like goes out of their way to tell people about, or do people just have to research to find these things?
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Definitely it does require, footwork, research. Working with an agent is also very helpful because they'll know what's available in your area. A lot of those programs do, have like an income threshold that you'd have to qualify for them. So they're not necessarily available to everyone, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
it's a good point.
Things to talk about. Now, to that point, everybody, Tana does Medicare planning. So she is very versed in this. Her parents own the college pharmacy in Ventura. Her dad was a pharmacist. So he was trying to charge top dollar for the meds. And then Tana would help the clients to try to get them for the lowest possible cost through Medicare. It must have been quite a polarized
no. Past tense.
In the old days. And so if you have questions about Medicare, please call our office and talk to Tana about this. That's absolutely 805-500-7035. So don't hesitate to reach out about that stuff. All right. We're already 20 minutes in, Tana. We gotta keep this cruising along here. Tana sent me this article the other day too. Unemployed benefit ends for millions of Americans. Yes. These extended pandemic programs may provide hope. So what was happening? So the feds we're saying, hey, on top of whatever you get from the state, we'll give you an extra $300 a week. And so for people in California, you could be getting $750 a week, on the top tier. You go have a couple in the house, that's $1,500 a week. That's over like $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's an incredible amount of cash flow when the national median income is $63,000 and our county median income is like $74,000.
Good point.
You guys were crushing it doing nothing. There's a huge amount of outstanding jobs in this country. There's still a decent amount of people on unemployment, like 3 million people or something. And the feds are finally reducing it. So what does that mean? I don't know.
Well, it's going to improve, service at restaurants and stores. And I even saw some of our shelves at the grocery store just recently were a little thin because they're saying that the truck drivers are, shortage there. So I think it's all positive. I think it's a good thing. Get people working again.
It's tough because, gosh, we can drill down into state eviction protection. That's going to be fun. Nutrition benefits. But it's tough, right? Because it's a double-edged sword. So I'm not here to take anything away from any human. If you're legitimately concerned about COVID and you can't go out your front door, then this is very problematic for you.
Right.
Dealing with hundreds of people, though, and all types, and in most situations, I find that statistically, the person that really meets that situation,
very small
and much older.
Yeah, sure.
We have a handful of clients in their mid to late 70s and older that kind of fit that, where they're just very concerned, they don't want to go out. Well, guess what? They're also out of the workforce.
Yeah.
And so the hope is, as Tana's saying, is that this normalization of things will force people back to work, which would be good for the economy. It'd be good for our GDP. It would just be good to kind of getting back to Normalville. Obviously, we have issues like what's highlighted here, the state eviction protection. The Supreme Court said you're not allowed to do that. The president decided that he was going to disagree with them. We'll see how that plays out. But that's the challenge, right? You got to go back to work. Yeah, you're making less money.
Yeah.
See, to me, I'm a fiscally responsible person. And so this stuff frustrates me a little bit because you say, well, wait a second. Don't go to work. Okay, that's understandable. Everyone needs to stay at home, protect ourselves. But we're going to give you money. We're going to give you extra money. We're going to give you stimulus checks. We're going to give you extra unemployment, all of this stuff. But in addition to that, don't pay your bills. See, that was the disconnect for me, because it's like, why are we giving people extra money if it's not to be able to maintain and pay their bills?
Right. That is a very good point.
It should be an either or. Like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you're not working, so I'll tell you what, you don't have to pay your rent for a while. But why do you get extra money? Because statistically, a lot of people did better in 2020 and this year not working, especially the way that the tax policy came out. We just did that show a couple weeks ago. 61% of people, didn't pay any tax last year, except a whole lot of people made more money last year.
Right.
But they don't have to pay the bills. So that's going to come to an end here, sooner versus later. Who cares about nutritional benefits? The student loan thing. Oh, do we care?
I did see an article that I thought was very interesting about the pandemic body. And I'm serious.
My kids think I look like The Rock. No.
But I really feel like
for Halloween.
I really feel like if we can get people back to work, really build up, lift people's spirit and get people moving and shaking and outside their home. And, stress is up 104%. Yeah. They also say that people are drinking more. So men, 70% more men drinking 14 plus drinks per week, and 28% more women drinking 7+ drinks per week. We've also got an increase of 22% in cigarette use.
Really?
And then
by that. Now, we have a global pandemic on a respiratory virus. Everyone's out smoking.
Right?
Genius.
So yeah, and then 29% increase in the number of employees that report that they're having difficulty sleeping. So
I heard, everything's a rumor these days, I don't know. But I heard that the average pandemic weight increased was almost 30 pounds.
I wouldn't doubt it.
27 pounds or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it's ironic, right? Because you have a disease that disproportionately attacks people that are overweight and have a sedimentary lifestyle, and have weak respiratory systems and things of that nature. So now you have a bunch of people gaining weight, eating junky food, and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
And
And drinking a lot more. Yeah.
I feel like I got in better shape during the pandemic because I ended up like walking and biking and doing a lot more things that I wouldn't otherwise do.
Being like more intentional about getting outside and not getting too cooped up.
Right.
I agree.
So, but if you equate this back to retirement planning, though, the healthier you are, the more immune you are to a lot of potential drama down the pike, especially getting back to those health insurance costs, right?
Yeah.
If you want to carry, extra health issues, it's
going to be more expensive.
Extra cost.
Definitely.
So what else do we got? We got the student loan pause thing that's coming due. I guess that's through January 31st. So they keep kicking the can down the road. They keep proposing to the president that he eliminates all student debt. Now, the good news is our country has no debt at all. And so we're in such a good place that we can just forgive $1.6 trillion in debt.
That is fake news.
No problem. So the president is looking into right now, actually, Tana, to see if he can do this with an executive order without even doing voting stuff for it. Okay. I'm gonna go get some student loans. That's all I know. The enhanced. Oh, my lights turned off. Oh, I gotta. What the? Oh, I'm back. That was something more divine telling me to control myself. The enhanced tax credits. So this is another thing that kind of came. Remember, the whole premise of this article is if you're sad that your unemployment just stopped, there's other things going on that are favorable. You've delayed your rent, you've paid your student loans. You're now, if you got kiddos, you're getting enhanced tax credits, which means they're paying them to you monthly. So if you got a kid over the age of 6 to 18, you get $3,000 a year. Divide that by 12, you're getting $250 a month. If you got a kid under 6, you're getting $3,600 a year. Divide that by 12, you're getting $300 a month. You have a whole slew of children. There's a lot of people that I know that are getting over $1,000 a month right now in tax credits. Must be nice. Tana and I don't get them because we make a ton of money. Just kidding. But
we don't.
I get mine. I still get mine. Tana doesn't get hers. Her husband, as we've always discussed, is a private pilot on a global. What are those jets cost he flies? You said like 30 million.
Oh yes, they're
doesn't sound like
very
Chris
expensive.
Doing too bad.
It's a totally different life.
He just has to drive a convertible one.
He's just he doesn't get to sit in the back though. He's the taxi driver.
On the show. That's what we need.
Okay, we'll do it.
Him on the show. I don't know how we're gonna size the two of you onto the same screen. Maybe you could have him sit on the floor. But either way,
okay, we'll do it.
I want to hear.
He'll have a lot to say, and he's super funny.
About how the other people live.
Okay, good idea.
Give us something all to feel left out on.
Just the catering alone on that airplane is unbelievable.
Yeah. So I was going to talk about. We're kind of running out of time here. I was going to talk about Social Security. So I'll touch on it real quick. So Social Security, they finally had their annual trustees report come out. Everyone is expecting it to be horrific. It's always bad every year because all they do is talk about depletion. And what's funny is the headline on it here. I'm going to pop it back up on the screen here. The headline on it is the 2021 report released Tuesday states that the fund is on track to go bust in 12 years. Now, what does everybody do that hears that?
Yeah.
Panic.
Go and they try to collect their benefits right away, immediately.
So basically, it was 2034 was when it was going to go bust. And then it was 2035, and now it's back to 2033. So it's all hanging out right there, which isn't too bad. This is a misleading statement, though, for a lot of people. It's not going bust. The whole definition of bust is what? You broke. There's no more money. Everyone ran out.
No benefits. Yeah.
Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. So the way that it works is in 2033 at the moment, the Social Security would only be able to pay 76% of benefits till the end of the century. Oh, okay. So worst case scenario right now is you're looking at a 24% reduction in Social Security in 12 years. Now everyone's still upset, right? Because a minute ago, everyone's super upset. Now they're just annoyed and upset. Like, I don't want my Social Security to go down that much. This isn't, what's the best way to say this? This is going to be politics. there's no politician that raised their hand and says, okay, guys, today's the day, cut those checks a quarter, and they remain in office, right? Social Security is what it is. It is not going anywhere. What's going to happen is they're trying to pass legislation. They've been working on some rules, the Social Security 2100 Act. I got to click somewhere to read more. Where is it? I don't know. I got to sign in or something. So, but basically what the article says is, if you're working stiff, like Tana and me, expect higher payroll taxes. If you're a high income earner like Tana, expect higher general taxes. They're going to get the money and they're going to refund it. In addition to that, they'll probably look at evolving the program. Remember, really young people live a long time. Social Security was created 100 years ago when the life expectancy was completely different. The life expectancy has increased over 20 years since they did this. The full retirement age has only gone from 65 to 67. So that will probably change. That will probably creep up. Young people will probably get less. They'll probably have to pay in more. The math is the math. Basically what's happening is we have a big bump in the system. That's the baby boomer population. It's a larger swath of people that are going on to benefits. And like a kidney stone, eventually we will pass it.
That's terrible.
It was, but it's also statistically accurate.
Okay.
The best analogy I could think of at the time. And so the government isn't, I would find it very bizarre to think that in the end they're going to cut this stuff, because heck, we're giving checks out to everybody right now. The government loves to feed checks to people. So anyways, I'm going to end on that depressing note. Tana, wait. I'm laughing. Anyways. So hey, if you got questions,
I'm just trying to stay positive.
I'm trying to stay positive too. If you got questions about your retirement income plans, if you have questions about the things that we're talking about, if you would like to re-steer us on topics that would be more interesting instead of listening to what we have to say currently, please call us. Visit our website and contact us. It's thelindgroup.com. Lind is LYND, and our main phone number is 805-500-7035. Otherwise, you know what? I do enjoy these moments with you, Tana.
Me
so
too.
I apologize if
it's always a good time.
This is out of control. So toodaloo.